in the video, I told you that I was thinking about taking profit from. It came right up to that area.
This is so good, man. Let me talk to y'all about this, bro. Let me talk to y'all about this. This is so good. This is so good. If you watched my previous video I just posted, I posted a live trade of me taking this trade that you see here today, and I had used the text to keep you guys to be able to follow along. But I was talking about how price was going to touch this area on the 15-minute. If we go to the 15-minute and we come down, this gap right here, price was having trouble at. We were struggling at this gap as I was in the trade. And on the 30-minute time frame, we were already filling in this gap, and we were struggling at this gap too. And I knew that we were going to have some type of retracement if we were going to continue to go up. The only reason why I felt that was because of the fact that we had already been pushing up for a pretty long time, about 3 hours. These are 1 hour candles. So about 3 hours we were pushing up pretty hard. And I was like, okay, we're going to have some type of retracement. And I knew that my stop loss could be a part of that retracement, being a scalper. And so so that's why I was like, I need to get out at this area right in here. And that's why I took my profit when I did, because price ended up coming all the way back down, doing all this, which would have pissed me off for real. And did it hit TB? Yeah, but I wouldn't have been able to really sit through all this. I mean, could I have? Yes, because you got the fair value gap here, you got the 5-minute fair value gap here. Price is only wicking at this area. The buyers are closing above it. And you can see that price is constantly, the wicks are constantly, closing higher. Yeah, that they kind of close below these, but the general theme of this move right here is the wicks are getting higher and higher. So that could have been like the thing that could help me into the trade, but the mindset and the mental capital that would have depleted here wouldn't have been necessary. I could have just taken the profit here. It's a Monday. It's the first day of the week. Don't have to do too much, So take the profit. But what I'm really interested in as well is what it did after. The reason why price didn't, in which I need to change this to a civvy. Because some ICT traders would have gotten hurt here because they're thinking, oh, it's coming back to a fair value gap. It already passed so many. It's probably going to stop here and finally go. Well, they don't get in right when it touches the fair value gap. They're waiting because they're kind of scared, because they don't know, because they're like, well, it could shoot up, so I want to kind of wait. So they go down to the lower time frames and they start waiting. And they're like, I don't know. And they finally see it break. And even retail traders do this. They see it break. They try to get in on the retest. And the market moves in that retest a little bit. It's manipulating those seller traders that's getting into the sales, and it's taking out those stop losses that those trades have. As you can see, if whatever traders try to put stop losses all up in here, it's taking all that liquidity, and now it's coming back down again. But why is it starting to come back down again? Because it came back to equilibrium. If we go up to the higher time frames, to the 4 hour time frame, and actually the 1 hour time frame, I took the fib from this high to this low, and that's the equilibrium. That's the 50% point of the fib is the equilibrium point, and that's where price likes to come to. Now, a lot of times it likes to push up and get into a premium, but since I knew that price was going to come to a premium because we were in a discount from this move from down here. So if we go to the daily time frame, this is why you have to go to the daily. This is why you start at the daily. Start at the daily time frame. You see that we're at a discount. We're at an extreme discount area, and we see that price was wicking out. Now, when we opened up, you see how price took off to the downside. A lot of times when price takes off to the downside like that, it's going somewhere. It's got an objective. It's wanting to take something. What did it take? It took this liquidity right here. Did it take this? No, it didn't need to. It took this liquidity right here because as you can see, the daily candles are not going to, they're going to move a range. They're not going to go super crazy unless it's like news or something. But you don't really see candles like this is probably the biggest candle that we've seen, you know what I'm saying, in a very long time. Since, well, not a very long time, but you know what I'm saying, from this candle right here, this was what, 27th? This was all the way in December of 2024. So, you know, it takes some time for these type of moves to happen, but they don't happen often. So if you understand that, then you know there's going to be some type of retracement in there. There could have been some type of retracement in here. Just because it closed like this doesn't mean that it stayed like this the whole day. It could have did this, went up, came back down, did all that, and then finally closed. You know what I'm saying? And so I took that into account. I saw that we were in a discount. We also have a fair value gap right here. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. This is so, bro, when you really get ICT stuff down, bro, it is so good, bro. It all comes together. It just all comes together. So this is a BISI because it's it's buy side. I think it's like is it buy side imbalance, buy side inefficiency, or buy side inefficiency, something like that. I don't know. I forget the words that's used in the acronym, but basically it's a bullish fair value gap. That's basically what it is. And price was starting to retrace and starting to wick out of that bullish fair value gap. And so that's another confirmation that price is going to want to shift and search for that equilibrium or higher. This time it just went straight to it, bounced right there. It went straight to it, looked it in its face and said, I'm gone. Went right up there and said, and God. You know what I'm saying? But as you can see, I talked about how my stop loss could be part of that retracement, which that's what it was, that stop loss. That's why I told you I kind of got in a little too early. Now, had I got in here, so had I taken this right here, got in here, the trade would have been a little bit more easier for me. So as a scalper, you got to understand that your entries are important too. Now, are you always going to get a perfect entry? No, you're not always going to get a perfect entry. But you want to try to get as best as you can. And I should have waited for something like maybe like this to come down and take that entry. And that would have been a better entry. I would have had a smoother time, and I wouldn't have, well, I mean, I mean, it wasn't a bad trade. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a bad trade, but I did have some drawdown. I probably wouldn't have had as much drawdown if I'd taken the entry, you know, like I said here. And to be realistic, it probably would have got me in here. Because realistically, I probably wouldn't have got in unless I got a market order or something sitting there waiting for it to come back. But actually executing that, I probably would have gotten in here. But still, no drawdown in that trade. Really. For real. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because that was super interesting. Like seeing the market, like seeing how a lot of traders who, maybe even ICT traders who might have gotten for a sale here, weren't taking into account that we were in a discount on the higher time frames. So it's good to be on the lower time frames if you know what you're doing, but you have to also make sure that you're coming back out and look at these higher time frames and seeing like, okay, then we're in a discount, and then we already made a huge move to downside. And what do we have up here? What do we have all the way up here? Really a liquidity void, because it's not touching anything. There's no action within here at all. There's no wicks touching. There's no candles touching. It's just a straight gap. But it's also a volume imbalance. And so price may, now price is probably eventually going to want to fish up and grab this, but is it going to do it tomorrow, this week? Who knows? But it eventually is going to want to come and fill that up. But that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope y'all enjoyed that video. If you stay to the end, man, hey, I appreciate you. But like, comment. If you won your trade today, let me know. And just hit the follow button, and let's get out in the algorithm.